Well, hello, mamas. We are here for part 3 of our pre-spring break video series. So today we're talking about participation. So I want to know, would you say your teens are participating in spring break? And what I mean by this is, are they participating in all the stuff that needs to happen before spring break? Are your teens participating in making decisions about what happens during spring break? Let me know down below if you want to share what you're letting your teens kind of help decide or what your teens want to participate in. Let me know. And before we go too much further, do know I have an awesome Facebook group called Teaching Teens to Love Learning. Highly recommend you join us after the video. Links in the description. All right. So participation. We've been talking about we've been talking about preparing. We've been talking about planning and prioritizing this week. So if you missed those videos, go back and watch. But I want to focus on the idea of participation. Okay. So we want our teens to be involved in spring break. We want to have buy-in for your teens about where you're going if you're going on a trip. We want some buy-in as to what bedtime is, what expectation is for things that happen during the day. We want your teens to be an active participant in spring break itself. So all those decisions that go into it, no matter if you're traveling, staying at home, whatever might be going on. We also want your teens to be participating in school and activities and chores, activities. I think I just said that. Whatever you want your teens to do before break starts. Okay, so we're going to dive into this more in just a second. Before I do, I want to say thank you for watching here on Facebook. Thanks for watching on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to Ace Cookie Tutoring, be sure you do so. Be sure to follow so you don't miss any future live videos. Because I've got all sorts of great resources here on Facebook and on YouTube. And, it relates to study skills, relates to learning, relates to teens and school. All right, so here we go. Participation before spring break. What does that mean for your teen? Depends on your teen's school. Maybe your child had a whole bunch of stuff he needed to do before break. Maybe there was a big test, there was a big paper, there was just a lot of review happening. Like whatever it was, your teen needs to participate in that. Okay. Now I know if your teen is already on spring break, that's a little too late to be talking about that. But if your teen hasn't started spring break yet, definitely do know, mamas, it is totally okay. And I encourage you to have expectations, but make sure your teen knows what those expectations are. Help your teen realize, okay, if you want to be part of this during spring break, you want to, have these decisions heard, and for us to take those thoughts seriously, you have to do this before break. Okay, that's totally fine. I will also tell you that during spring break, you don't want to be making all the plans, mamas. If you've got tweens, kiddos that are in middle school, yeah, it makes sense that you're making a lot more of the final decisions. But at the same time, if you've got high school kiddos or even college kiddos, your teens, your college kids, your young adults need to have more freedom. Okay. Now, obviously, spring break for a lot of teens, college kiddos means partying, and maybe trips where they're on their own with friends or classmates. That's up to you, mamas. Like for me, that was not my scene. I'm the nerd. I was the valedictorian, the one that loved homework. So that wasn't me. But maybe that's your teen. And maybe that's what your teen wants to participate in. So that's up to you. And I encourage you to have a very serious, very, down to earth conversation about that, because participation is up to you and it's also up to your teen. So, yes, hear your teens. Yes, let them have a say, because no matter if we're talking school, if we're talking spring break, we want your teens to have buy-in. We want them to have choice, but it's up to you to lay down the law. Okay. You have to have those expectations. You have to be open. You have to really let your teens know what it is that you want to have happen. Because if they're participating in something you're not okay with, well, they need to know that. Okay. All right. So I wanted to keep this one pretty short, pretty sweet, and you're welcome, Mercedes. So thanks for watching. But just know participation for spring break starts before spring break, starts during spring break, and also think about the participation following spring break. Okay, because maybe you have these discussions, we make these decisions, And then things over spring break don't go like you expect them to. Your teen doesn't listen. Your teen decides to do something else. Well, what are those consequences going to be for after spring break? Okay, because this is the last break of the school year for most students. This is pretty much it. So definitely do know that's another reason why participation on your teen's part is so important and so necessary for you to involve your teens, because that time between spring break and the end of the school year can be kind of rough. It can be a slog for the students, it can be a slog for the teachers, and definitely parents. It can be rough on you. So if you've got questions, let me know. The best place to get help, the best place for me to help your teens stay on top of school, keep on track with those assignments, and help your teens actually learn how to learn so they can love to learn, is through my Facebook group. So have a great night. See you in the group soon. When you go to the link in the description, answer a couple questions, and join us. Thank you so much. See you soon.